Hey guys, last time I did a video recapping college football week 1. This time I'm going to be previewing the NFL week 1. Alright, so I'm going to go through each game. I'm just going to say who wins, and I'm not going to say the scores. I just can't do that. But I will be saying what's going to be a good game and what may be a stinker. Okay, first one, I got Carolina against Denver, and I'm going to have Carolina winning this game. Look, Denver, they don't have their quarterback. They don't have a quarterback, okay? You know, I know they're starting Simeon, but he needs to show that he can at least not do anything stupid. And he hasn't shown that just yet. Carolina, you got Newton. You got your number 1 receiver back. You got most of your defense back. I know they don't have Norman, but hey, they'll figure out a way to manage. At least for the time being. Okay? Next game, Tampa Bay at Atlanta. I'm actually going to go with Tampa Bay. Come on, you got to have a few surprises. What's the point of doing this? But I think Tampa Bay because Atlanta, look, they still have question marks with their defense, and I think they still have question marks with that offensive line of theirs. You know, they still have question marks there, and Tampa Bay, they're an up-and-coming team. I mentioned that, and I just really think they can win this game. Okay, Buffalo at Baltimore. I'm going to go with Baltimore on this one because they're at home, and they don't have as many injury questions as Buffalo. Baltimore, last year they were decimated by injuries. Buffalo's already been decimated. I mean, they have lost their first-round pick. They lost their second-round pick. You know, they lost the guy to a suspension. This is just bad luck for Buffalo, and I just don't think they can overcome it for week 1. You know, but we'll see. Chicago at Houston, I'm going to go Houston. Okay, they're playing at home. You know, they're going to want to win with the new quarterback. This is a very improved team. It's an improved team, okay? They didn't add much, but it is an improved team because now they have another year under their belts, and now they have a quarterback who, hopefully, will be their franchise. I think Osweiler can do it as long as he doesn't try to do too much. That's basically it. Okay, Green Bay at Jacksonville. I'm going to go Green Bay, but I think Jacksonville will give them a fight. Okay, I think Jacksonville will be able to match them, but I think Green Bay is just going to win. Okay? Green Bay is going to win because it's Green Bay. They're going to have Jordy Nelson back. Rodgers will be back to his old self. Even though he really wasn't that bad last year, it's just that he wasn't the typical Aaron Rodgers self, and he'll be himself this year. Okay, San Diego or Kansas City. I'm done. Oakland at New Orleans. I'm going to go Oakland on this one because they are another up-and-coming team. And they have their quarterback. They have a receiver. They have a really solid running back. They have a really good defense. They have a pretty okay line. New Orleans, you know, line shaky. Defense is even worse. The receiving core, you're not exactly sure who's going to play and for how long they're going to play. Running back, they're pretty solid. Quarterback, they're really good. But right now, New Orleans, they just have too many questions right now. Okay, Cincinnati at the New York Jets. I got to go Cincinnati on this one. Cincinnati just won the division last year. And I know they lost their free safety. They lost their number 2 and number 3 receiver. It doesn't matter. This is a good enough team that they can still make it to the playoffs. I had them going to the playoffs. Don't forget that. Cleveland at Philadelphia. Look, I know Philadelphia is going to be starting Carson Wentz because of the trade with Minnesota to send Bradford to him. By the way, I will be mentioning that at the end of this video. But it's going to be Philadelphia, Cleveland. Look, too many questions, too many losing seasons. I can't trust them on the road just yet. They have to prove that they can play. I can't trust them. In Minnesota at Tennessee, I'm going Minnesota. Okay, I'm going Minnesota because Tennessee, they're in a rebuilding mode right now. They're rebuilding the team. They're trying to get their quarterback to improve. Trying to improve the defense. Trying to get a receiver. You know, Tennessee, it's just a rebuilding year. Minnesota, they're still a talented team even without Bridgewater, even with the trade for Bradford. Again, I will be mentioning that at the end of the video because I got something to say about that. But I'm going Minnesota. Miami at Seattle. I got to go Seattle on this one because you're playing at home. You're still a good team. You want to get back to being the #1 ranked defense? Miami is a good way to start. Enough said. The Giants at the Cowboys. I'm going with the Giants because, look, I don't care how well Prescott did in the preseason. That's the preseason. This is now, and right now I'm saying he's going to struggle in his first start. You want to know why? Because he's going to be facing a New York Giants team that is improved on defense. They are better on defense, on paper. Okay, on paper they are improved, and that's what I'm going on. Okay, until I see that they're not better, I'm going to say that, but they haven't shown otherwise. So, we're going to go Giants on this one because not only do they not have their quarterback, but the Cowboys lost 2 defensive ends. They lost a linebacker to suspensions. I just can't trust this team. Okay, Detroit, Indianapolis. I'm going to go Indianapolis on this one, and only because they're the home team. Okay, it was kind of a tie between these two, but when there's a tie, I go with the home team. So, I'm going with Indy because, you know, they're playing at home. Andrew Luck is healthy. Hopefully the offensive line will be better. Defense is still shaky at best, but they still have a good a great receiving core. Hopefully they'll get something out of the run game. I just think Indianapolis will just pull off the victory. Okay. This is the game of the week right here. New England at Arizona. And the reason I'm calling it the game of the week is because even though Brady's not playing, Patriots still have a solid team. You're forgetting the Patriots do have a solid team right there. And I think they will give Arizona a run for their money because, look, they have a really good defense. They got some pretty solid receivers. I'm not going to say good, I'm going to say solid. I want to see how they do without Brady. They got to get something out of the run game. And the line's pretty solid too. So, hey. But Arizona pulls out with the victory. You know, they're playing at home. They're coming off an NFC championship appearance. And they want to start off on a high note. But if New England had Brady, I go with New England. But because he's not there, I'm going with Arizona. But it will be a really good game. Okay, Pittsburgh and Washington, the first of the 2 Monday night games. Remember, there are 2 Monday night games played in Week 1. Okay, I'm going to go Pittsburgh. Because I had them winning the division. Look, Washington, I don't know how Cousins is going to do. I know he did well in the preseason, but again, that's preseason. So I don't know how Cousins is going to do. I don't know who their running back is. I don't know how good this defense is going to be with Norman. You know, I just don't know. Okay, that's the only reason. I just don't know about Washington, but I know what you're going to get with Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has a much improved secondary. You know, they still have Roethlisberger. They have Brown. They're not going to have Bell. They're not going to have Bryant, but they're going to have just enough to get by. Again, this is going to be another good game. In LA at San Francisco, I was going back and forth between these two. Not because they are equally good. It's because they're equally bad. These are two just bad teams. And again, with the tie, I won with San Francisco. But I got nothing good to say about these two. I just don't know this. I think this will be a good game because it is a division match. But I'm not expecting much out of these teams this year. I'm just not. But still, so to say it again, I got Carolina beating Denver, Tampa Bay beating Atlanta. I think both of these are going to be good games. Buffalo losing to Baltimore. Since Chicago beating Houston, Green Bay beating Jacksonville. I'm sorry, Chicago losing to Houston. If I said beating, I meant to say losing. San Diego losing to KC. Oakland beating New Orleans. Cincinnati beating the Jets. Cleveland losing to Philadelphia. Minnesota beating Tennessee. Miami losing to Seattle. The Giants beating the Cowboys. Detroit losing to the Colts. New England losing to the Cardinals. Pittsburgh beating the Redskins. And the Rams beating the 49ers. Okay, so those are my predictions. And before I go, I just want to say the trade between the Vikings and the Eagles. Sam Bradford for a first-round pick and a conditional fourth-round pick, I believe it was. Or not a conditional, I think it was a fourth-round pick, not conditional. Sorry, thought I heard conditional. Sorry, I think I was thinking of another trade. But I think it's a lose-lose. Really, it's a loss for Philadelphia in the short term. I just don't know if wins can get them to the playoffs this season. Okay, but for the long term, it's good because you get an extra first-round pick. Because you get the first-round pick that you lost when you made the trade for Wentz. And you get an extra fourth-round pick in 2018. And that's a big one. Because your draft is basically built in the middle rounds. And you can get more picks in the middle rounds and get value out of those players. You're doing a pretty good job. And it's bad for the Vikings because you just trade a first-round pick. For what? You're probably not going to go to the Super Bowl this year. I just don't know what they were thinking. A first-round pick, and you still have problems on that team. I mean, you need to fix up your line. You're probably going to need a strong safety. You could have used that first-round pick to get that. I just think it was a lose-lose for these teams. For the short term, but for the long term, they're going to be just fine. Long term, they're both going to be fine. I just don't know what's going to happen this year with those two. So I'm just going to throw my book back. See you guys next time.